They had over an 860% revenue growth year over year.
Wow.
And it was because the owner actually saw, I need to be here doing this while my team is over here doing what I hired them to do. And when he got out of the way and allowed them to actually step into their zone of genius, it truly was magic.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand. What if your leadership was in perfect alignment with your purpose and your people? Today's guest can show you exactly how to accomplish that. Debbie Radish-Respess is an award-winning consultant known as the Alignment Alchemist. She also happens to be a BrandFace client. Debbie helps seasoned business owners and executive leaders create better chemistry, lower turnover, and higher revenue by turning their misalignment into magic. Let's find out how she does it, as well as her thoughts about her journey through the BrandFace program.
Debbie, welcome to Be Bold Branding.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to talk about all this good stuff.
We are too. We are too. We already know your story, of course, because you're a BrandFace client. But for those who do not, it's really remarkable. You want to share some background with us and with the listeners, and before we get started on the questions?
Yeah, absolutely. 30 years of corporate America, operations, supply chain management, IT. My last stint was in human resources before I suddenly became an entrepreneur. So I know that we'll kind of talk a little bit about that, but it's been an incredible journey.
It sounds like it. 30 years is a long time, Debbie.
I know, but I look good for my age, right?
You started young, dear. You do look good for your age.
Yeah,
that's right. You must have started when you were 4. So, well, that brings us actually to the first question. Like, you were in that corporate world 30 years. So why was it that you decided to transition into your own consulting company, into the world of entrepreneurship?
It's a weird story. It started when one of my corporate directors actually gave his notice, and his leaving really helped me see that I was burnt out. I was tired. I was maybe angry. I didn't know that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I think I just got to the point where I'm like, I'm going to just see what this journey is going to be like, and I'm going to try something different. God kind of took me in a place that I did not expect. No one in my family is an entrepreneur. I was the first to graduate college. I was now the first to start my own business, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been tough and fun and exciting and hard, but being able to have learned what I learned through corporate America and be able to transition that into being a business owner and serving other executives I think this has been my dream, and I didn't even know that it was my dream.
That's how it turns out. You mentioned that God had this plan for you, and I think sometimes he does, even against our will.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm quite certain he laughs at our plans, right?
Absolutely.
But you're very well equipped, though, from that corporate career and background, and in so many different genres of corporate world. So is that help with business owners that you work with? Like, what are a few mistakes that today's seasoned business owners or executive leaders are making?
I think they get so caught up in the results, and they don't consider what it takes to be able to get the results. So one of the things that I love about what I do is that I get to bridge the gap between people and their purpose. And what that really means is aligning the people strategy with the business strategy. You can't have a business without people, and you can't have people working for you without that strategy. Like, it's all just got to align. And I think I've always been able to do that. I just didn't know that I could do it this well. And I love doing it for others and helping them be able to see how to do this right in their organizations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's invaluable being a business owner and growing, starting with just myself and then growing into employees and going through employees and going through people who couldn't see the vision, mostly because I couldn't share it with them. Like I didn't know how to articulate it. And like, it's definitely a need as we see so many people out here, you know, in entrepreneurship. And like you said earlier in your background story, it's a great place to be, but it can be highly frustrating, can it?
It can. I don't get frustrated anymore.
Yeah,
I
you've
think
got
it's
the
because
knowledge you're sharing.
well, exactly. Like I've been there, I've done it, and I've come out the other side.
Yep.
So it's easier to have those conversations to go, it doesn't have to be frustrating. It's going to be hard sometimes. But, you know, I don't know, you learn from other people's mistakes sometimes instead of having to learn from your own. And that's kind of, you know, some of the joy of what I bring to the table is, hey, let me tell you about a time that this happened, right? And they're like, okay, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm like, that's good. Learn from me.
Yes, take this knowledge. You know, I had a mentor in the 90s when I was real young, and he would say all the time, everybody pays to go to school. You can make all the mistakes and cost you a lot of money and time, or you can pay somebody that's already been there and get there faster. So I've always believed in buying the knowledge and leaning on people who had it, like you in that case, and rather than just making it on my own. You still make some, obviously.
Takes you longer,
but
and a few more mistakes.
it takes a lot longer than just paying somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Debbie, you mentioned something that was very interesting to me when we had our first conversations. You mentioned a term that you call corporate armor. And when you mentioned it, I immediately like resonated with that. But I want you to share what you mean by that and how that helped you to understand how to consult the companies you consult today.
Yeah, I think, you know, when I left corporate America, I recognized I kind of lost who I was in that journey and didn't know it until after I left. Corporate armor to me meant that I was putting on protection every day from misalignment of values, misalignment of purpose, misalignment of people and business and strategy. I throw in there my corporate or my professional veneer. You know, I kind of had to hide who I was. So I had to protect myself and not really be authentic. After 30 years, I think I just finally got tired of that and said, I just don't want to compromise my character anymore. And I want to help others be able to step into their character and recognize that being who you are is not a horrible thing and you can bring it to work. And that is what makes businesses the most successful, is that people can come in and be themselves. I mean, you don't leave your personal life at the front door of your office, and you don't leave your office at work when you leave. It's a chemistry. It's a chemical reaction that just doesn't go away. You know, it's not black and white. It's not stop here, start here. It all meshes and merges. And I still have, I think, flashbacks of that corporate armor. I can still tell when it kind of starts creeping up and I'm like, nope, don't want to do that. What am I trying to protect myself from? And really getting clear on what I stepped away from and what I don't want to step back into, and helping others see kind of maybe where their baggage is, where their challenges lie, even personally. Like that's why I do executive coaching, is it's that personal journey, because we all have our hangups. Mine happened to be corporate armor and professional veneer. It could be something completely different for somebody else, but I have my own story to talk about that others are like, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So how about an example of when you've been able to align the right people in the right positions?
Yeah, I had a client. This is one of my greatest success stories. I loved working with this company. It was a smaller organization, CEO, phenomenal at the job, got in the way because he was always in everybody else's business. The team didn't know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, because he just happened to kind of like to poke poke in there and kind of do things. And I was able to come in, my executive coached him. We talked about his business strategy, and then I did some leadership development with the staff. And everybody was able to find their role, their responsibility. They become very committed to success, what success actually meant like for the organization. It was at a time of great growth for them, so I'm not going to take all the credit for this, but they had over an 860% revenue growth year over year.
Wow.
And it was because the owner actually saw, I need to be here doing this while my team is over here doing what I hired them to do. And when he got out of the way and allowed them to actually step into their zone of genius, it truly was magic. It's been, I don't know, 5 years now, and they are still just knocking it out of the ballpark. I still talk to them. I still have conversations with them. I get to see them every once in a while. And it is just it was so cool to be able to be part of that journey with them and see the rewards of that alignment, true alignment. But you also have to be ready and willing. And that CEO was like, hey, I think I'm part of the problem, and I don't know what to do about that, right? So we kind of talked about, you're not a problem. You just have different skill sets. You have different gifts. Let's really let you work on those and stay in your zone of genius while you let your team do the rest. And it was awesome.
Like what you're hearing? Hit that subscribe button and learn how you can change how you're seen and charge what you're worth.
Oh,
I love it. I love those stories, man. I could listen to those stories 1,000 times. When it works like it's supposed to work, and you can come in there. So I assume just a little bit behind the scenes, like you spend time in the organization with the executive leadership, and then with each individual. Is it sort of how the process works with you?
It is all over the map, Michael. I hate to admit that, but I work with CEOs, their leadership team. I have worked with departments or up and coming leaders. It truly is dependent on what is important, where the roadblocks are and the challenges are in the organization. So it could be truly just a leadership development program, and that's going to be with maybe a manager director type level. I personally work specifically with the C-suite, the executive level leaders, because if you don't get it right there, it doesn't matter what you do in the rest of the organization. And you either want to drive the culture, or you're going to have to accept the culture that is being bred. And you don't, let's go ahead and plant the right seeds. And that has to start from the executive team. So that's kind of where I like to play. But my colleagues and I, the group that we work with, we can kind of hit all levels of the organization, because sometimes you need that alignment from the top to the bottom and from the bottom back up.
Right.
Makes perfect sense to me. So having said that, what type of clients, Debbie, are you best suited to serve?
I love the middle of the road, like kind of that mid-level company, 250 to 2,000 employees. But I have clients that have 10 employees. I have clients that have a lot more than 2,000. So let's talk about what their needs are. And if I can fit and help serve them, great. If not, I've got some really great people in my back pocket that I know can do maybe a better job than I could. So it's all about kind of that giving forward, paying it forward type of thing. So that's kind of how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So, Debbie, now that we know a little bit about how you got started and what you're doing in your new consulting company, tell me why you chose to come into the BrandFace program.
Once I finally found my passion with this whole, and I can say this now, bridging the gap between people and purpose, right?
Right.
That was a BrandFace thing. And it was because I constantly talked about alignment, and I love strategy. I love business strategy, and I love people strategy. And I knew there was a way that I know how to come in and make that work. I didn't want to rebrand my entire business, but I knew that I personally wanted to be rebranded. I kind of wanted to come forward and go, this is kind of who you get. This is why you get me. This is what I'm offering. It's not just a face with a company. I'm kind of it, and the company is along with me. And I think BrandFace just kind of filled a unique niche. I looked at a lot of other branding companies and kind of what they did and how they did it. I liked your process. I liked your flow. It was super hands-on to take care of me, but I didn't have a lot of work to do. Like that was super important, because again, I'm a solopreneur. I have a team around me, but I'm kind of doing it. And you guys stepped in and were able to go, yeah, we can help you with this. I think we're aligned value-wise. Character was super important. The right image was super important. Tanya, you and I went back and forth, I don't know how many times, because I can sometimes be a little particular about character and what I wanted, and I had a lot of questions. And you guys just kind of went with the flow and made that process fun and exciting, a little challenging, interesting, and I love the results.
Oh gosh, we do too, Debbie. Like when clients ask a lot of questions to us, all that means to me is that they're invested in this.
Mhm.
They're invested in the kind of brand that they feel they can have and deserve. And that's when we get the most excited. And those are the clients who will often say, I apologize, I'm so sorry, but like, this is like, change number 4. It's like, no, don't worry. You're the one we care about the most, right? You're the one we want to make happy in all of this. So you were absolute pleasure to work with.
Well, I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed the ride.
Well, that's good to hear. That's really good to hear. What do you think was the hardest part of the program for you?
I don't know if I have anything that was hard. I don't know,
Good.
Tanya, did I have anything
answer.
that was,
Good
it was
answer.
difficult? No, but I really, like, I'm sitting here trying to think. I think it was me actually just accepting the Alignment Alchemist, just because it's so different and unique. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't really sound super corporate-y, which is totally awesome, because I don't want to sound super corporate-y, right? So I think I had my own personal struggles to get over, to be able to have some fun with the process, which is how I like to work. I just don't always give myself that grace and permission to do it myself.
Well,
I'm familiar. You and I are a lot alike. Sorry to cut you off,
Yeah.
but we're a lot alike. And I was a client before I became a partner in the company, and I went through the same thing. And I think that was what I would have called the hardest, was just letting go and listening to her for a second.
Yep.
Well, the alignment, pun intended, is really what it's all about. You have to feel that. Like the Alignment Alchemist is that suit that you put on every day, right? It's not the corporate armor. It's not the mask. It is like, that's just you. It's like you just, you grew a Wonder Woman suit overnight, right? That's it. And as long as you feel that is an accurate representation of who you are and what you do for people and what you want to be known for, the rest is super easy. And that is the biggest, roadblock for a lot of people, just getting past that initial part of, okay, what do I want to be known for?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part I love the most. It makes our clients sweat a little bit, but it's so great. What do you think was the most eye-opening thing for you throughout the process, Debbie?
I got super clear. Like, my messaging is super easy now. The part of the journey was picking out pictures, like Shutterstock or whatever, right? Whatever those. And I had to pick out, I think I picked out 30 some photos that I made you guys look at, and you combined them and got me 5 that absolutely nailed me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so clear and crisp, and the clarity, which is exactly what I do as a consultant and coach, is let's talk about clarity. I finally found that. I finally understood really what I do, how I do it, why I do it, And now my message is, it's super easy. Like when I start going off on a tangent, it brings me right back to go, nope, we're talking about A, B, C, and D. That's it. Like, and it's, I love it.
Guardrails.
I love it. Yes.
Is what we call it. It's like you can, because it's so easy to go off-roading. It is. I mean, you have to, but once you have those guardrails up, it's like, okay, stay in the lanes. And this is easy. This really is easy.
Yeah. And it really is. And I think the cool thing is that I've tried branding on my own before. I'm not a branding expert. Like, I mean, this is why we pay people to do what they're really, really, really good at. And I like so many things. And that was another huge conversation with you guys well, but I like this color and 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 I like, whatever. And you're like, okay, how about if we do this? All right, let me try that on. Right. And it was like, all of a sudden it was like, okay, this was fit. It was fitted. It was made. It was designed for this. And it fits like a glove. I mean, perfectly.
Yeah. A lot of people say, oh, brands can be cookie cutter, not when they're personal brands. They can't be, right? It really is, a soup built around you. And that's what makes us so proud of your process.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys got it nailed down. It's an easy one. It's easy to refer people to you.
Oh, thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
That's
so
awesome.
Much. So how has your brand already helped you in your journey?
Really, it's the clarity. My website is getting updated. I have a landing page. My documents all look and feel the same. I like the guardrails, because every time I think I want to go someplace else, I'm like, nope, I don't want to do that. So I just finished 2 marketing documents this morning. It was super easy. I'm like, here's my photos, here's my pictures, here's my this, here's my that, here's the colors, font, etc. Done. I don't have to think about it anymore. So the amount of time that it saves, I never even thought about how much time I wasted on all of my marketing materials, because I didn't have a clear view of what that is. What is this vision? I don't know. Well, now I'm the Alignment Alchemist. Here's my pictures. Here's my photos. Done. It's that easy.
Yeah. That's one of the things I like most about it too. In fact, we did a marketing piece not too long ago, and the guy insisted that his designer I'm like, look, no, we already have all these out. Well, let my guy try it. And I'm like, it's your waste of time. And then about 2 weeks later, I get this thing back and we're sending him our folder that, no, we'll stick with what we already had. Thank you. I said, well, thank you for letting me try. I was like,
Yep.
Well, that's the beauty of it all, though. So final question about this portion, Debbie, what would you say to others about becoming a brand face?
Just do it. Don't hesitate. It came at the right time. I literally got something on LinkedIn. I think it was a LinkedIn connection from you guys. It was the right time, the right place. I was in the right frame of mind to do it. Part of me is like, I wish I would have done it earlier. This goes back to alignment. It happens when it's supposed to happen. And I think when you know that, like, I literally just said, this is the right time. I know exactly what I want to do with my career, with what I'm doing, who I'm serving, why I'm serving. You landed in my LinkedIn at the right time. And just having that conversation, it was real. It was genuine. It wasn't salesy. It wasn't, oh, we're going to get you blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was just like, no, this is what we do. This is how we do it. We'd love to be on your journey with you. It was an easy yes. It was such an easy yes. And again, that's why I can't help but refer people to you, because you guys just make it so easy and personal and fun. And even when you have to worry about challenging clients sometimes who push back, you guys just kind of take it in stride, and you just make you made the journey enjoyable.
Oh, Debbie, that warms my heart.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate that. And on the other end, I got to say this, you're sitting there thinking challenging client. And I'm thinking, no, what you don't want is a dictatorial branding company. saying, this is the way it is. Here's your colors. Here's this, here's that. Good luck. Have fun. Right.
Yeah.
You have to have that back and forth because this is your brand. It's not ours. We're the experts at branding, but we have to see it through your eyes for it to make any sense at all. And for it to be really special to you. And so I did not see you as challenging at all. I think it's hilarious that you think that, but I love it. I love it.
I jokingly say I'm, high maintenance on the low maintenance scale. It's so funny but I totally agree with you is that you guys listened to everything I had to say. You listened to when I was unsure and I didn't have my own clarity, and you asked some really great questions to be able to help, maybe not me get clarity, but you to get clarity to be able to do that. And when I say challenging, it's not a negative thing. But I'm not going to be one to just sit and go, okay, yes. I'm going to push back because, as you said, it's a personal brand. I'm representing me. And that's super important. That character has to come through. And even when I knew I was like, iteration number 3, iteration number 4, I knew that I could do that because it didn't sit right with me. And you were so open and welcoming to just go, this is going to be right. When you walk out of here, when we get done with the program, you're going to love it. Oh my goodness, you are so right. I absolutely love everything I have.
Well, your brand turned out so beautiful, Debbie. And I just want to say thank you so very much for having confidence in us, for trusting in us to walk this journey with you. We have been honored every step of the way to do that.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
So Debbie, tell the audience, how can they get in touch with you? There's people out there listening right now. They're stuck. They need your help. They need the Alignment Alchemist. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, right now, the easiest and best way is via email, Debbie@invisiblehorizonscoaching.com. You technically can go to invisiblehorizonscoaching.com, the website. It is not done, and it doesn't have great links on it. But the email is going to be the best opportunity right now, at least for the next couple of weeks. And then they'll be able to find me everywhere, LinkedIn, whatever. But just search for the Alignment Alchemist, right?
That's right.
Love it.
That's right.
Love it.
Thank you again, Debbie. What a pleasure.
Thank you.
Ready to change how you're seen and charge what you're worth? If you're not getting enough opportunities to meet with ideal customers, or the prospects you're meeting with just aren't ideal, it's most likely your brand that's holding you back. So if you're a coach, consultant, or expert who is on the rise, you need our ultimate guide to a freedom-based brand. Download it free now at BrandFaceGuide.com.